you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate you on your election and welcome you to your place. I'd also like to commend my many honourable friends who've made such tremendous contributions in the House this evening. In particular to the last contributions from my honourable friend for Newcastle under Lyme, a very moving tribute to his parents, and to the young member from Crewe and Nantwich, a few less grey hairs than me. I'd also obviously like to congratulate the Right Honourable Friend for Sheffield Heeley, and it's wonderful to see you in your place on the government benches, and thank you and the team for bringing this bill so quickly to the House. Yeah. I am honoured, Madam Deputy Speaker, to have been elected by the people of Shipley constituency to represent them. I grew up on the edge of the moors in beautiful Wharfdale, and I'm proud to be serving the place I now call home. I am by no means the youngest member to represent the seat. That honour goes to Chris Leslie, who at 24 was the baby of the House when he was elected in 1997. However, I am the first woman to represent the seat. And I am delighted to be part of the most diverse parliament with some 263 women MPs across all benches. On my first day, as I emerged from Westminster Tube and looked up in awe at the Palace of Westminster, I took a diversion across Parliament Square to pay homage to Millicent Fawcett, social campaigner and suffragist, whose statue stands alongside Churchill and Gandhi. She holds a banner with the motto, "Courage calls to courage everywhere." I've carried these words with me during my first few weeks in Parliament, although, to be honest, I feel more like the lion from The Wizard of Oz as I stand here to make my maiden speech today. Please give me courage. But I know that the people of Shipley have put their trust in me, and that gives me heart. And all around I see people of courage, every one of us on these benches. Firstly, we've had the courage to stand, particularly in the hostile climate in which politics has been conducted recently. It is vital that our democracy is not undermined by those who wish to abuse, threaten and intimidate. I'm grateful to the Labour Women's Network for giving me the support and encouragement to stand, as well as my husband David, who's here today. I'm proud to support 50/50's Parliament's campaign, Ask Her to Stand, and I thank the Joe Cox Foundation for their work to promote civility in politics. I will play my part in upholding standards in this place. Secondly, we have the courage to stand up for what we believe in. Each one of us has come to this place with a passion to change things for the better, to leave our communities and the country a better place than when we arrived. And I'm heartened by the commitment to work across this House to put aside tribal politics where they get in the way of progress and to put common good to the fore. And I look forward to working with my neighbour, the Right Honourable, no, not quite Right Honourable, I don't know, but the Honourable Member for Keighley and Ilkley.
Not yet.
Not yet. And I will seek to work with colleagues who share my passion to ensure all disabled and older people get access to the care and support they need to live a full life. Work I started as the chair of the Archbishop's Commission on Reimagining Care, and which I hope to see delivered in the form of a national care service under this Labour government. And finally, we must also have the courage to speak up. For those whose voices are rarely heard in the corridors of power, to tell their stories, to demand changes that will improve their lives, and to show how things can be better. Many years ago, my teacher, Mr. Hodgson, told me you can spend your life shouting from the outside, or you can change things and go on the inside. And I intend to use my voice in this place to speak up for the people of Shipley constituency, particularly those whose voice is too often ignored or drowned out. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, I am proud that we have a government that is courageous and has wasted no time in pressing forward with ambitious legislation to deliver on its promises. And today, my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Transport, has set out another bold plan, taking the first steps to establish Great British Railways. The people of Shipley constituency have suffered from expensive and unreliable public transport for too long. Today's bill will begin the work of putting the public back into public transport, delivering better connectivity so children from Baildon and Burley and Wharfdale can get to school, commuters from Cottingley and Crossflats and Cullingworth can get to work, and pensioners from Eldwick and Gilstead can get to the shops, boosting the economy, enabling tourists to visit our wonderful heritage and beautiful countryside in Bingley and Shipley, and making it easier for people to enjoy a night out in Bradford, proudly the City of Culture in 2025. Now, according to protocol, Madam Speaker, I'm to say something about my immediate predecessor, Sir Philip Davis, who served the people of Shipley constituency for 19 years. He was always diligent about his correspondence, replying quickly to constituents. Sir Philip advocated for investment in the local area, and it is in part thanks to his efforts that the NHS has recently committed to reinvesting funds from the sale of Shipley Hospital into a new health and wellbeing hub. And I look forward to continuing his work to bring a hoped-for boost to Shipley Town Centre. I can, however, reassure the House that I do not intend to continue his tradition of filibustering on a Friday. I also wish to pay tribute to other members who have sat on these benches and inspired me. The formidable Yorkshire woman, Betty Boothroyd, the first woman Speaker of the House. Her courage gave a teenage lass from Ilkley the idea that she might one day follow in her footsteps. So I hope I can in time make my own contribution to the work of this House. Jo Cox was a contemporary of mine at Cambridge, and it was her life and horrific murder that spurred me on to stand. On reading her biography in 2017, I wrote in my own diary, the values she sought to reflect in the MP she was are also ones I aspire to be brave, principled, focused, respected, grounded. These values will be the yardstick against which I will judge my own time in this place. It is usual to say something about the constituency I represent, and Madam Deputy Speaker, there is much to celebrate in the Shipley constituency, from Willesden to Windhill, Micklethwaite to Menston. We're home to the highest flight of locks on the canals in Britain, and the original setting for TV's soap Emmerdale. But I'm going to focus today on one place, Saltaire, a model village built by Sir Titus Salt, a philanthropist and mill owner. The mill was at the forefront of innovation in the wool trade and the largest in Europe. Salt provided decent housing and amenities for the workers, a library, school, now home to Shipley College, and a church. He was wary of the demon drink, though, so no pub, although I'm pleased to say that Saltaire now boasts an excellent brewery. Salt understood that economic growth and lifting people out of poverty go hand in hand, and I'm proud that the Labour government will ensure there are high-quality jobs for local people and the trap of low-paid work, and open up opportunities for people to train for the jobs of the future. I could tell you about other inspiring historical figures who hail from or have lived in my constituency, who are immortalised in the names of local buildings and roads. I could tell you about the amazing volunteers who keep our communities blooming, the independent business owners whose industry powers our local economy, and the local farmers whose toil puts food on our plates. But I'd like to tell you about those in my own life whose courage has given me courage. My great-grandfather, Frederick Dixon, fought and died on Flanders fields in the First World War. My grandfather, Herbert, true to his Christian beliefs, refused to serve in the military during the Second World War and undertook other vital work. He died in a car accident which left my grandmother, Frida, in a coma with brain injuries. She learnt to walk again, to feed herself and write with her left hand. She lived another 30 years, albeit with disability and mainly housebound, but she could still beat all of us at Scrabble. Yeah. My late Uncle David came to this country from Zambia on a scholarship, became the first black African to play golf for Oxford University. A golf legend 40 years before Tiger Woods hit the headlines. Yeah. And my niece, Martha, diagnosed as autistic after struggling with mental health issues as a teenager, who has had the courage to embrace her difference and find her way in the world. My family, in particular my mum and dad, who are here in the gallery today, and my church, taught me the values that I bring to my politics. That everyone should be able to live free from prejudice and discrimination, and that those of us who have plenty must share what we have and take action to lift people out of poverty and tackle inequalities. I'm proud to be a member of the Labour Party that is putting these values into practice. So there'll be time in coming months for me to talk about all the priorities that I'll deliver for the people of Shipley, getting local GP and NH dental services back for patients in places like Rose, stopping the sewage dumping in the Wharf and Air, more neighbourhood police in villages like Denham and Harden, revitalising our high streets in Shipley and Bingley, and supporting young people's mental health. But the final issue, Madam Deputy Speaker, that I would like to highlight today is the contribution of family carers. My mum cared for my grandma for many years, and it was her love and support which enabled my grandma to go to church, to take trips up the Dales, to see friends and family, to have a good life. Millions of unsung heroes like her, unpaid and undervalued. Behind closed doors across this country, some estimated 5 million people, mostly women, providing support and care to loved ones. I want to make them my priority in this place. And I will start by campaigning for a review of carers' allowance to ensure that hard-pressed carers are not penalised for taking a part-time job to make ends meet. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like to end where I began, with the words of Millicent Fawcett ringing in my ears. Courage calls to courage everywhere. I will stand up for what I believe in and to speak up for the people of Shipley constituency. And perhaps my courage will inspire another young Yorkshire lass to follow me into this place one day. As Betty would have said, time's up.